Okay.
And maybe we put another camera. No, Ove, tule ka siia. Ove, come closer.
Are we taking a picture?
Yeah. Come, so we... It's filming already.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what's your take?
On what?
On any topic you want.
I love Estonia.
Amazing. 100% agree. Okay, this is a gesture to the podcast where we took the scenery. Okay, Rizwan, where do we know each other from?
Yeah, so I remember you from YouTube. So
Yeah.
when I finally got to know that I'll be moving to Estonia, then I was searching for life in Estonia, and I was searching for apartments and things like this on YouTube, on Google, everywhere. And I remember I came across your video and you were showing the tour of one of the apartments, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. I have someone I can already talk to. And then when I moved here, I remember that when I was looking through apartments, I contacted you and I said, hey, can you help me with finding apartments? I don't have time to do that. And then you helped me. So that's how we met, which was now almost 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yes, time flies. And also we had another contact with your dispute with Bolt.
Yeah. So that was funny as well, because when that happened, I was looking for a translator and I did not have anyone who could do it for me on a short notice. And then I got in touch with you and you told me that yeah, sure, you can help me out. And then yeah, he helped me with the translation of my case with Bolt. And I guess had it not been for him, I would have been really stressed on how to find someone who can do the translation. And eventually I won, and all is history.
No, it's amazing. When you introduced me to this case, I thought it was amazing in so many levels that you are using AI to prepare for the case. And for me it was kind of clear that you're gonna win, because to tell you frankly, Bolt was kind of sloppy in their procedures, and this was also one of the mistakes on their part. But it also amazed me that they how badly they were trying to find just a reason, and it did not seem reasonable from their side that a worker who worked so well had been praised so many times, and at one point they just looking for some reason to
Yeah,
sack them.
I guess they just had to fire, so they were not thinking that I would fight and then I would also take this public. So from their side, maybe they have been desensitized to this because they have been doing it for so long. So I guess my case was unique in the sense that not only my case was crystal clear, I was also very persistent that I'll take this public, which I did. So I think that is like a very good feedback loop for them to, follow procedures and follow the employment laws, but also for the employees especially, to know their rights and know how to navigate these situations, because it can be stressful, and especially if you're an expat, you don't really know how to navigate the government system as well, because most of the things are in Estonian. So I guess it's also one angle was also that now that I've won, how can I raise awareness to other people going through similar situations in Bold and generally in Estonia and generally across the world as well, that you have your rights and you just need to be aware of those things, and how then you can leverage AI to help you articulate your side of the story and you tell your side of the story as well. So I think there were like multiple angles to this, and I'm glad that it has been received very favorably by everyone who has seen the case and who has been through the article how this entire matter panned out.
Yes. Because at the startup scenery, I know it's like a dog eats dog mentality. Because I've heard from other people that, for example, they offer to some employees that if you work for 3 years, you can get these options, and they are sacking the person after exactly 1 day before this 3-year deadline or something. It's like horrible, but nobody speaks about it. But anyway, you were the first who spoke about it. Did your life change after that?
After that, no, but when this happened, I just realized that I don't want to stay in the tech industry anymore in the traditional sense that I was in, because this is not just with Bolt, but generally across like multiple industries. It's been happening a lot, you know, be it Microsoft, Uber, Salesforce, globally. So I knew that there is lack of sense of security in the tech industry generally. So it was just a realization that I need to be able to do something of my own. So my life did not materially change, but it gave me like a very strong realization that I need to do something that I know is within my control. And I thought that I have ample industry experience now to actually start doing something of my own as well. And I tried and it worked out, and now I have a super small firm that I run with my co-founder and some of the employees. And yeah, in that way it changed favorably, that now I'm a self-employed small business owner. But in terms of other things, not really, because I knew this has been happening in the industry quite often.
Okay.
And
So
it
you
was
were
just
aware.
yeah, I was just the dog who gotten eaten eventually.
Or did not.
Did not,
Yes, almost. Okay. You said in the beginning you love Estonia. What about it? Like,
Yeah, Estonia has been a blessing for me in so many ways, because when I came here, so I think I used to be an extrovert. I loved talking to people. So when I moved here, I knew that I'm moving to a country which is more introverted than, let's say, rest of the Europe. But I knew that it's digitally very advanced, it's clean, it's safe. So when I moved here, I was meeting a lot of people, and most of them were expats, and they saw Estonia as a launch pad to go elsewhere in Europe, like Netherlands or Germany or Portugal. And so my life was like constantly switching between making friends and then losing friends and making friends and losing friends. So actually after a while I got depressed that, hey, like this country is not nice, the winters are cold, it's always windy, all of those things. But then it gave me the space to be able to explore myself, because there wasn't much to do. So I did a lot of like self-reflection, staying just by myself, reading, watching things online. I always wanted to do meditation properly. I always wanted to do yoga properly. Now that I have so much time in the world, I was like, I can finally explore these things. So I started going to yoga regularly in actually my gym. I fell in love with the idea of centering myself through yoga. Since I had a lot of time now, I was also able to do a couple of courses on meditation. So I think in hindsight, Estonia helped me make the best use of my spare time. And which is why I fell in love with the country for a personal reason. But for other reasons, I am in love in Estonia because I know that it's one of the cleanest cities actually in the entire world, in terms of air quality, in terms of general road cleanliness. It's very digitally advanced. I remember that I did not have to go to any government offices in person to get anything done. Everything was done online, so it saved a lot of time. It was also super small, so getting from one place to another place was like 10 minutes, 15 minutes top. You don't have to commute for like 1 hour. So there were lots of things which I looked at and I was like, this is actually super nice if you want to live a life where everything is balanced and you are in control of some of the aspects of your life. Estonia does offer you that. Now with that, there are negative things about Estonia as well, like for example, the winters can be super harsh. So there are downsides to that as well, but if I was to look at the overall picture, I would say that Estonia to me is like one of the places I'd like to live for as long as I can. And I've been blessed to have been able to explore myself through Estonia because it allowed me the time and space to do that.
Okay, so the long winter is good for working and self-exploration.
And sauna.
And sauna.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And how is your new company which you launched, how is it called?
Oh, it's called Soch, which is an Urdu word which means to think.
To think.
And we are an AI automation company, and our goal is that AI amplifies whatever you're thinking. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're thinking garbage, through AI you'll think garbage at scale.
Okay.
So we try to focus on having a good thought process initially whenever
Uh-huh.
you're doing anything business related, and then use AI to amplify that. So it's called Soch, which means to think.
Oh, it's amazing. We also, I'm feeling that AI is influencing our work so much. For example, a lot of our clients now think that they're the smartest people in the world and exactly know how to advertise, and so we have kind of an AI battles. It's like the client puts up an AI questions which we answer with AI. It's in one way it makes life easier, but on the other way it makes it more complicated.
Yes, I think people are using AI there are very different use cases. I was looking at this post from a salon owner, and she was telling me that one of her clients said that I want to dye my hair in some way, and the expert told her it's not possible to do it in such a short time, and then she opened up AI and AI said it's possible. And then she was like, well, it's not possible because of chemicals and all of that stuff, and they were just fighting that it's possible, why are you not doing it? And the expert was saying it is possible, not in the time frame you're suggesting it is. So I think it's definitely enabling people to do more, but it's also backfiring in a way that now there's too much self-reliance on AI without thinking or without understanding that there could be more angles that AI has not factored in yet. So I guess it's like a gray area, and you have to be very careful with how you actually use and implement it.
Yes. You have to know how to ask the question, which brings me back. Have you read this book, Hitchhiking Guide to the Universe?
No, I haven't.
You have to read it.
Okay.
It's like amazing, exactly about, because there the main thing is that they got the answer of the most important question, but nobody knew what was the question. So these days this is the most important. What's the question? Not the answer.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, you have to know how to ask the question. Okay, so any other negatives part about Estonia, for example? What about the real estate market? Because we are in the real estate market business.
I think the real estate market is not good, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think generally Estonia has gotten really expensive in the last 2 years, I feel. Now with regards to like rents and general purchase of real estate as well, I think it's like super expensive. So I'm not very aware of the current trends, but I do think that things are really expensive in terms of real estate. But I do also feel that the number of transactions happening have decreased as well. So, buyers are not willing to settle to what sellers are setting the price, and sellers are also not willing to reduce the price. So I think there is stagnation in terms of the number of transactions happening if you look at the last 1 or 2 years. But I don't think that I like the Estonia's real estate market that much. Yeah.
And the rental market is just fine.
I think the rental market is fine, but I also think that it can benefit from some correction. I do think that it's also a bit on the expensive side, because from a tenant's point of view, it's not just the rent, it's the rent and the utilities that go into the overall expense for the household. So utilities are really expensive, rents have more or less also gotten a bit more. So the overall expense for the tenant is so much that it's difficult for them to make a decision which can be good for them in the longer term. And what I've observed is that a lot of expats who do not have a family, what they then do is they live in Estonia for 10 months, then they want to escape the winters, and they leave their place, they book like a storage box, and then they go and save rent for 2 or 3 months.
Oh, it's amazing.
That is because the rents are so expensive, they think they can save money. But if the rents were like a bit more appropriate, they might just want to keep the place even if they are traveling somewhere for 2 or 3 months.
They may be escaping both the rents and the winter.
Yeah.
It's a very good point I haven't thought about. Okay, what do you think about the societies as general? I mean this that there is so much automation And in China they have dark factories which need no employees. They make such a good products which are innovative and good. Like one, I'll plug in my camera here, and this camera is like amazing. 5 years ahead of its time, it's still working, just amazing. And I don't see that in Europe we can compete. And also, for example, Facebook, it makes trillions of dollars in revenue and profit, and it employs so many people. My point is, do you see that coming soon, that not everybody will be able to have a job, not because he's stupid, but because you just have job only for the very best?
I don't think the position should be job for the very best. I think there will be disruption for sure. I think most of the tasks which were administrative or execution based will eventually go away. But more of the tasks that still require strategic thinking or creativity will still flourish. So the overall number of people required to generate $1 in revenue will definitely decrease, which has been decreasing since the Industrial Revolution. So I think the kind of jobs that needs to be done will shift, which can also mean that there might be a reduction in the overall workforce until a transitory period has passed by. But I think of it a bit differently. I think that the administrative and execution stuff will eventually be automated and will be taken care of by AI. But the strategic and the creative stuff will still flourish, which means that there will be room for people to grow into a different kind of skill set. For example, now once you're constructing a building, you don't pick up the bricks and take it to the building, right? You have a crane or a machine that helps you to do that. So the job has shifted to a person who knows how to drive that machine rather than just picking up the bricks themselves. So I think in that way it'll shift in a way that the execution based stuff, for example, a basic data analysis done through Excel will no longer be needed because AI can do that analysis quite well. But the person who was doing that job now needs to guide AI in a way that it gets to the outcome which is needed for the business to make a decision. So the type of work will shift, which means that the soft skill needed for you to be able to perform will shift as well. And during the transition time, we may see a reduction in workforce because there are people who are not adapting to this skill set in a way. So their demand will no longer be necessary in the industry until they shift themselves to new ways of working, and then things will then normalize. This is, I think, my opinion.
Okay. My opinion is much darker because I see that I saw one video of a robot which almost like a human hands, two hands, making a box from a template. He put it in a box, and he was so skillful in that he made the box and put a rope inside. I was like, I can't do it. He's so good. And I was thinking, okay, what jobs are gonna remain? And this job is gone, cleaning job is gone.
I don't think that the framing should be which jobs will remain. I think the framing should be which jobs will be created, because there are for sure jobs that are going to go away, but there will be new kind of jobs that will be created as a consequence of AI coming in. So yes, I 100% agree that there will be reduction in the types of jobs that we currently have, but that will be the stimulus to create new kind of jobs that we do not know of yet.
Yes.
Is
okay.
what my thinking is.
And that is,
for example, this box packing is something now if a robot can do, then this job will cease to exist over a period of time, but as a consequence of that, some kind of job will emerge.
Okay, which we don't know yet.
Which we don't know yet.
Okay, yes. That's, I hope it goes this way, because actually during my time there was no such a work that influencer. If somebody had told me 10 years ago that there will be a person who will be watched so much more than CNN, I was like, you are crazy, it's not gonna happen. But now you have multiple of these kind of people who can
exactly
who are like a media houses.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you think of like traditional actors, they're like, hey, we do cinema, we do movies, so no one can actually beat us. We know how to act, we know how to read a script, but now you have content creators on Instagram and TikTok just making random videos and making millions and millions of dollars
Yes, yes,
in
yes.
year, and creating whole creator businesses out of this job did not exist like 20 years ago, but now it does. So I
Okay.
think there will be an evolution in the types of job. What that evolution will be, only time will tell, but I do think that there will be a shift, and yes, there will be reduction in stuff, but we will move to a different kind of a way of working.
Okay, but what would you suggest now to? Am I in the camera? Yes. What would you suggest for the young people, young generation these days, who is finishing school and thinking what to do in the future?
I think the best advantage that young people have is that they have a lot of time on their plate. And if they start learning AI, there is a very huge gap in the way AI is accelerating in terms of its technology versus the way AI is being implemented in companies. So I think my advice to young people would be that try to become AI first, AI native in your thinking. You have the tools available at your disposal. Learn those tools and then go solve problems for small business owners or even medium or big enterprises who are who do not have a who have a roadmap of AI transformation, but they don't have anyone to go ahead and actually advise and implement it. And you are actually in the capacity of consultation and advisory and implementation from the get-go, because nobody understands AI. You are learning and using AI on an everyday basis, so you're actually qualified to consult these businesses, of course under like a specific framework on how to adapt AI in a way that it actually benefits the business. So I do think that there is a huge opportunity on that front on AI specifically for young people. And that is also to say that you will have to also unlearn many of the things that you may have already learned in your curriculum or academics historically, because they are becoming more and more irrelevant as we move into the following months, with AI disruption happening more and more common across the globe.
Okay, unlearning part is very interesting.
Yes, for sure. I mean, so for example, I think unlearning is a good thing. I remember when I started working, I was really good at data analysis through Excel, and I did that for about 5-6 years, and I got really good at it. So people used to come to me when they wanted to analyze some data in Excel. But my skill got completely redundant in 6 months' time, because you now just tell
amazing.
Google Sheet to do something or Cloud to do something, and it does a better job of data analysis than I could ever do. So if I had not unlearned that, hey, I need to let go of the thing that I knew, data analysis, because no longer people will not be coming to me to do data analysis any longer. They'll just go to Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT to do that. If I hadn't unlearned that, I would not have created space to learn something new with AI.
Okay.
So I think yes, unlearning is definitely a major part of letting go of something, which lets you to have this space to bring something else new and to learn something new along the way, which I think should be the implementation of AI. So even if you're not involved in the development of AI, which I think very few people are, because it's a very technical and complicated skill set to have, the implementation of it is actually rather simple, because it's a business process implementation and operations implementation, which is something you see across you every day. So if you learn how to implement the technology of AI in businesses, I think that has a really good demand right now, and an ever-growing demand as well.
Okay. What do you think about nation states? So my take is that the time of nation states is past over. They have no future, especially small ones.
I don't think so. I mean, governments will still exist. Policies will still be there. Sure, there's more globalization happening every day. But if by nation states you mean that the
let me just interrupt you for a second. What I mean, in Estonia, I see the government is failing in many ways. For example, you have voluntary police, voluntary firefighters, voluntary all kind of services based on voluntary people, because the government could not fill the gap.
I don't think that I have a strong opinion on this, because I haven't really researched it. But my high level take is that it's not going to go away, in my opinion.
And for example, Estonia is too small to defend itself. It's like impossible. The Russia has 100 million people. We have 1.4. We can't even put even 40,000 troops under arms. So I think like the minimum for a nation state will be 10 million people, or 5 million. Like let's say Israel. Israel, they can put 500,000 people under arms in 2 days.
But like you can think of it differently. Sure, like there will be not a lot of personnel that you can deploy in terms of human resources, but then you need to think, hey, how can we strike partnerships with other countries?
Okay.
What NATO policies can we implement? How can we garner support from international organizations? So sure, you cannot fill in the gap in terms of pure human capital deployment, because you don't have, you only have 1.4 million people, which is also stagnant and slightly on the declining curve, and an aging population. So that is not your advantage. So that is not something you can do about. So you need to think differently. Hey, can I mobilize, can I
10 million drones?
So yeah, I'll touch base on that, but can I strike stronger partnerships with, I don't know, rest of the Baltics, maybe the Scandinavian, rest of the Europe, rest of the world, to be able to get these human resources from them, or also get some funding, and then maybe deploy this in technologies such as drones, invest more in defense tech. So yes, the human deployment may not be as let's say beneficial in Estonia's favor, but then the lens should be that what other things can we do more strategically, which will help us get the same outcome, which is send a stronger signal to a country like Russia that we are in a position to defend ourselves through other ways. If you, for example, can get people from Germany, for example, or other states, if you have stronger partnerships with them, and they're more than willing to do that for you, then eventually you're achieving the same outcome. Right now you have this 10 million people gap to
although there is another problem too, that the Western Europe has also, nobody wants to fight anymore. Even nobody wants to go to the army, even in Germany, like no, thank you.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
Not for us. Like we want to play games or something at
yeah, that's true. I think then the gap is defense tech. Yeah, the need for humans will be less, and I do see that people also are not as enthusiastic as people were in the old times to actually enroll themselves in army to serve the country.
But I also think that Estonia has a future, like in a part being in the European Union, like a bigger empire. Then we are okay.
I think that in terms of like so I remember when I was coming to Estonia, I learned about the computerization of the schools in the 1990s, late 1990s. And I think that was one of the things that actually differentiated Estonia from rest of the Baltics in terms of its acceleration to growth by becoming computer native. Similar pattern is actually also happening with AI, because I remember when ChatGPT came out, very soon after that, Estonia was actually one of the first countries in the entire world to partner with OpenAI to bring LLMs to school, and they have done similarly for Claude as well. So I think in that sense, Estonia does make like very quick strategic decisions which set themselves very differently with rest of the Europe. So I do think that there is an advantage there in actually being small. It's small, decisions are easier to make, there's less bureaucracy to navigate. So I do think, yeah, Estonia in that sense can position itself very favorably in comparison to rest of the EU countries to make decisions quickly, which are strategic in nature, which will be pivotal for them to advance in whatever way. Now they can make wrong decisions as well, for sure, but if those decisions are well thought through and the right decisions, then it can actually accelerate the growth of Estonia in many different areas such as technology, AI, industry, defense, health. So I do think that there is some value in that for sure.
Now this finished the FIFA World Cup, and for me it was very interesting that you saw how international all the teams are. Like you could not find any one team which was like Germans, only Germans, Brits only from Britain. Actually, not even from Morocco. They had players who were born in EU, in Europe, in some Spain or some other countries, and those were most successful. Who were mixed. So, and I think there will be another layer of like when people, groups of people come together to solve some problems or help each other out, like Patreon and for example YouTube and OnlyFans too. Like you have some needs and the market like solves it, or some how you call it, group financing solutions, where they help people who cannot pay for their health insurance or who have some problems. So I think this will come to help also the governments who fail in some of the services, but maybe society or different kind of groups of people who organize themselves will solve them.
I mean, it could be very much possible. I think that generally, like, globalization does bring new ways of solving problem, brings on an overall basis higher competence to the table, which ultimately benefits the group as well. So I do think that there is I agree to that.
Okay, but do you want to say anything else?
Yeah, I was actually looking forward to summers, but they are very short-lived this year especially. I hope that we get some sunny and warm days before we head into autumn. And yeah, it was lovely talking to you, and thank you so much for inviting me to the
Yes,
podcast.
it was amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay, Ove. Did we record anything?
I don't know.
Did you press record?
I see this microphone is blinking here.